My name is Michael Thomsen. I grew up in Denmark, but I lived all my adult life in Australia. I currently live in Tasmania, the island south of the mainland Australia, and it's a very beautiful place. I've been a herbalist and naturopath for nearly 40 years. I also have a PhD in medical sciences from the University of Sydney. And my biggest claim to fame is the Phytotherapy Desk Reference, which is both a book for students and practitioners of herbal medicine and also an online application with herb-drug interactions and research, as well as traditional information about herbal medicine. So the main focus of my work now is to update the book and the application.
Hi there, Michael. So now we're going to talk about the product names turmeric. So I know turmeric is one of the most essential seasoning spices in Indian and Southeast Asian cooking. Even I used it last week for cooking my chicken. So turmeric has been used for centuries in different cultures. So can you tell me about its historical use and how different cultures has utilized turmeric in their traditional medicines or cuisines?
Sure. It's actually not a hot spice. Have you ever tasted it just on its own?
Yeah, it's not.
It's not hot. No, it's very yellow and it stains like it's incredible, especially the extract. When you have a purified curcumin extract, it's like a yellow dye and it goes everywhere and you can barely wash it off. It's quite a potent thing. Turmeric's been described in ancient Indian texts called the Vedas over 4,000 years ago. So it goes back a very long time in India. And it's not just a yellow spice. It is a symbol of prosperity and purity in India. And they use it in wedding rituals, in religious ceremonies, and in cosmetic applications. And of course, as a curry and a medicinal plant as well. So a huge variety of use of that compound turmeric. And the modern science we'll talk about a little bit later on, but the active principle or the actual compound called curcumin is that really strong yellow dye found in turmeric.
Oh, okay. So as you mentioned, like today turmeric is popular, but not just because of its spice, but it's also because the other medical supplements it has been used for. So what are the most common use of turmeric today? What health conditions it is typically recommended for?
I think the main modern indication is for inflammation. So turmeric and curcumin have quite potent anti-inflammatory properties.
Mhm.
So that will be used for skin disorders, inflammatory skin disorders like eczema, but also arthritis. And then it's also has the ability, the curcumin, to kill cancer cells. So in Germany, they have infusions of purified extracts of curcumin that can be infused into veins, and that's used in treatment of cancer. It can be used alongside traditional treatments for cancer. So I would never recommend that as a standalone or to do that instead of modern medicine for cancer. But as an adjunct or perhaps something to reduce metastases, or if the chemotherapy is not working so well, that's certainly an option. It is available in Australia, but it's a bit hard to find somebody who wants to use it and give it. It's a bit controversial. But I've been to German cancer clinics
Mhm.
where they use that with other things, but it's quite a potent anti-cancer compound as well.
Oh.
The issue with curcumin, so curcumin is this yellow dye, the active compound that is so potent. It's not water soluble. And because it's not water soluble, it has very poor bioavailability in the body.
Mhm.
And over the years, the use of turmeric has gone from using just a powder or perhaps a water extract of turmeric to these highly concentrated extracts of curcumin. It was almost purified up to around 90% curcumin. So all the other compounds that were in the original turmeric has been removed and only curcumin has been concentrated and the dose got higher. And that's all very well. The problem was that they produced an extract where the compound, the curcumin, was very poorly absorbed. And you'll still find these products in a marketplace where they claim a huge dose of curcumin, but it's not very effective. But over the last 10 or 15 years or so, there's been a development in trying to take the curcumin and make it more bioavailable.
Mhm.
That means either packing it into a nanoparticle so it can be absorbed and reach its target tissue in the body, or perhaps combining it with something else. And this has already been worked out by the ancient people that if you combine turmeric with a fatty meal or fatty compound and some pepper, not black pepper traditionally, but long pepper, and then you improve the absorption. So there's these new products in the marketplace where they've either made a nanoparticle or combined it with a phospholipid to make a little sort of kernel, a little sphere of turmeric in the center, and then there's a shell around it that is fat soluble, because the fat soluble compounds are much better absorbed in the body and can be distributed to the target tissue. Or these other compounds, products that contain some black pepper or pepper longum to enhance the absorption.
Okay. So also like you have mentioned that turmerics have been used for treating skin conditions. So I also heard about turmerics being used in skincare and also some of the beauty products as well. So I'm just wondering, are they for those beauty products and also skin repair products, are they also regulated as the same as those herb drugs under the authorizations?
You can only use the compounds that are approved for skincare products, but the products themselves are not registered. So in Australia, the medicinal plant products are not registered like drugs, but they are what's called listed. They have to conform to the regulation, and it's a self-regulating system. But the cosmetics are a bit more free for all. They have to use approved ingredients, but they're not really listed or approved by the authorities as such. But I should also mention that the medicinal use extends from this as well. I just got a little list here. I just want to just remember to mention, and that is that it's also under investigation for use in dementia and asthma because it's anti-inflammatory, also digestive disorders, eczema, and even poor liver functions. When you look up Google and you look up curcumin, you'll see that it's indicated for so many conditions. There is a little bit of a concern that this is all based on in vitro studies, and curcumin is what they call a dirty drug in pharmaceutical industry, in that it hits so many targets. So when they do assays, it's always active. Curcumin does everything, but you've got to be a bit more circumspect. Are there animal studies, first of all, from the in vitro studies, and then moving into human studies? Are there actually clinical studies in curcumin or turmeric? And it's very important not to just accept all the indications that might come out of in vitro research, but also look at human studies and clinical trials and so on.
Yeah, okay. That's really interesting to know that. So also last but not least, any interesting things that you might know about turmerics that I might not know of?
You probably know, I was just thinking about this, and there's this drink that's become very popular in the West, which is called golden milk. Have you heard of golden milk?
I have no idea.
I've actually never tasted it because I just don't think it's going to be that effective. But anyway, it's a drink. It's a traditional drink, really. They mix turmeric powder with milk and then black pepper or some other pepper, and that's supposed to enhance the absorption of that curcumin. And you'll see that in juice shops, so that you can get a curcumin drink like that called golden milk. But I doubt I mean, if you took it every day, it might be medicinal, but it's not a medicine, I would think. But I think it's important to use these spices like turmeric or ingredients and used with other spices because they have a lot of medicinal properties. And if you take them every day over a long period of time, then I think they have a significant effect. So I would include things like ginger and hot spices, pepper, cayenne, or chilies, but also cinnamon. Cinnamon, for instance, has an effect on blood sugar. A lot of them improve circulation, digestion, and so on. So I include a lot of spices. I think we have at least 30 different spices in our cupboard that we use regularly to make curries or Middle Eastern food. Or I drink chai in the morning where we have cinnamon, cloves, and cardamom all blended up and mixed with the tea. And then we grate some fresh ginger and mix that in. So I think that turmeric comes in there that a lifelong intake. And it may be that people say in India, that have curries and turmeric every day throughout their life. That probably does help with their general health.
Yeah.
But to have the odd golden milk now and again, I don't think that's going to make a big difference. Yeah. But yeah, good to incorporate turmeric into a diet. And I've actually not really tried it myself, but you can eat the turmeric root. It's a rhizome, it's an underground root stem that you can eat as a vegetable.
Oh, how they cook it? Like how they cook the
I
turmeric?
like a potato.
Oh,
I
like
think
potato.
that just baked or steamed.
Oh, now I'm just curious how it's gonna taste the golden meals that as you mentioned. Are they gonna taste like just milk or taste like something else? I
I
mean,
think it tastes like milk. They probably put some sweetener in as well. If not honey, maybe some of the other sweeteners. I don't really know. and it's
I,
be very yellow. It'll look fantastic, but no, I'm ashamed to admit I haven't actually tried it.
I think it would be like just taste like a heavier versions of coconut milk curry.
I don't think it's a great taste. It's just got a sort of earthy taste. It's pretty bland.
If people believe that it's gonna bring them benefits, they might just change their diets from milks to golden milks, like for their daily intake.
And I'm not a big fan of drinking a lot of milk, so it's not for me. I think milk is for babies. You still drink milk, Aries?
I still drink milks, but like not that often, but like I'm still really into it with cereal.
Great.
Yeah.